Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Loud gunshots. It was very clear it was gunshots.
A busy downtown Rockford street is shut down. Police say it's due to a shooting. A nearby business owner shares what she witnessed.
One of Rockford's oldest housing developments will soon be demolished. A man who lives near Brewington Oaks believes the teardown makes financial sense.
A State Line College says students must get the COVID vaccine before the fall semester begins. There are a few workarounds, but faculty say it's the best solution to keep everyone on campus safe. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Bullets fly in broad daylight in Rockford's downtown.
It happened this afternoon near State and Wyman Streets. Tonight, a heavy police presence remains in the area. Alexis Carpello joins us live from the scene. Alexis, what can you tell us?
Well, Eric and Mimi, Rockford police say no one was injured after this afternoon's shooting here at the intersection of Wyman and West State Streets. When I arrived on scene, police had taped off the area in front of Subway and District Bar and Grill. There was even crime tape blocking the area near the Rockford Area Convention and Visitors Bureau's office. Rockford police say someone opened fire on a man walking his dog. It happened around 1:45. Investigators laid out 10 shell casing markers in front of the Subway. I spoke with the owner of Subway, who says this was one of the scariest experiences she's faced while owning a business in the downtown area.
I came around toward my kitchen sink and saw one of my employees come running from the front and duck down, and I didn't know if the shooting was in the store or outside of the store.
No one has been arrested yet, but coming up at 6, Bloom says one of her employees saw what had happened, and she describes that from their point of view. But for now, reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Alexis Carpello.
Alexis, thanks for that report. We'll see you at 6.
The man accused of causing a crash that killed a Rockford father is charged with reckless homicide. Devontae Flint pleaded not guilty Friday. April 25th, police say the 27-year-old was going about 90 miles per hour when he crashed into Raymond Jackson's car near Harrison Avenue and 9th Street in Rockford. Jackson died on scene. 2 children were hurt. Prosecutors say Flint was wanted on 3 warrants at the time of the crash and sped off when police approached him. Investigators say Flint had drugs strapped to his body. He's due back in court July 8th.
A Rockford apartment complex where senior citizens used to live is closer to being torn down.
The demo will cost roughly $1.5 million. Rachel Perry's been looking into how the city will go about bulldozing the building. And Rachel, what did you learn?
Yeah, Mimi and Eric, the Rockford Housing Authority prepares for the Brewington Oaks apartment upcoming demolition. Today, workers were expected to set up a secure safety fencing surrounding the apartments. Last month, the board voted to tear down the 2 buildings on Seminary. The Rockford Housing Authority says the buildings were used for nearly 50 years, calling them on the brink of infrastructure failure. They first announced the intention to demolish the property in 2018. At the time, occupancy was at 42%, and 90 of the 418 units were deemed uninhabitable. One man who lives across the street from Brewington Oaks tells me things have changed since the last time he was inside the building.
When they were living in it, it was livable, it was in good condition per course, but there's so much stuff in there that's below city codes that it's just too costly to remodel it.
The RHA says the first step will be a soft demo, starting inside where the crew will take down all the artifacts RDHA wants to preserve. We will not have heard the future plans are for the space. Eric?
Thanks, Rachel. Summer break has only just begun for Beloit College students, but this fall, a new item will be on the back-to-school checklist. The school announced today all students, faculty, and staff must be vaccinated before the start of the 2021-22 academic year. Proof of COVID vaccination means individuals will not have to wear a mask, attend regular testing, or quarantine if they make contact with a COVID-positive person.
I don't think we're renegades in this decision either. I think there are many, many peers, many colleges, many institutions that are requiring this or at least strongly encouraging it, even in the private sector, as far as just businesses and companies sort of thing.
Students unable to get vaccinated for health or religious reasons will be required to wear a mask, go through regular testing, and practice social distancing.
When the COVID pandemic hit, it turned nearly every facet of life upside down. Community colleges were no exception. That's why the federal government's American Rescue Plan included $98 million in funding for higher education. Here in the state line, that money's gone a long way. Used funds to improve its technology infrastructure in order to train staff and students to operate online.
Us having this funding allows us to pivot on the fly and provide some training or bring in the right people to help us help the students.
RVC is also looking to increase transportation opportunities between campuses and establish a COVID testing site so students can feel confident about their health in class.
The Illinois House and Senate plan to approve new political maps before next Monday. Democrats unveiled the first sketches of the new map lines Friday night. Several districts were drawn to pit incumbent Republicans against each other in the upcoming election. Now that Republicans have had a chance to review the boundaries, they claim they still don't have enough information about the voters who live inside those district lines.
We don't even know if the districts contain the right population to be able to be drawn correctly. I think it speaks volumes that the majority continues to refuse to answer questions about the data. It's a mockery of the process.
The public will have a chance to weigh in virtually and in person at 4 committee hearings this week.
A group of State Line students take their after-school activity to the global stage.
Sherland Middle School's robotics team took home second place in a worldwide competition. Michelle Rave caught up with the winners and their very proud coach. Michelle?
Robotics team members at Sherland School got in touch with their creative side. The coach tells me she didn't hesitate to get her students involved in a global competition after a challenging year due to COVID.
Yeah, here, do this one. Olivia.
Sherland School robotics coach Hannah Powell says the Sherland robotics team has spent the last year working very hard.
They far exceeded any expectations I had with not only what they created, but how they created it.
The team of 4 was tasked to create 2 projects, one to qualify, one to compete.
We started working on this fall of last year, where we joined the competition and tried to build our first project, which was a detector for a car so that it would turn, a street light would turn off when a car was nearby.
The students' goal of the competition, create something to help the community during COVID. Their creation, an automatic desk sanitizer cleaner, with it securing second place in the global competition versus teams from 17 countries.
I was amazed because we're such a small school and we have 4 people on our team and 50% of it is me and my sister. It was just great. I just mind blown. A few tears were shed, but I made it out. I did it.
Cal says not only is she proud, but she's excited to bring on even more students to the team.
I actually had a lot of kids come up and they're like, I want to be on robotics next year. I'm like, that's awesome. So hopefully I'll get a nice big, again, influx for a robotics team and learning how to code and use their educational talents for the greater good.
The students tell me if they decide to compete again next year and meet all the requirements, they'll automatically qualify for the World Championships. Eric.
Nice job, team, and the Carlson sisters. A little rain did not stop shoppers from attending the first Rockford City Market of the season. Organizers tell us more than 5,000 people showed up Friday night. Some food vendors even sold out. More than 50 merchants are taking part this year. More applications are coming in. Customers can also enjoy live music. City Market runs Fridays downtown from 3:30 in the afternoon to 9 at night.
Some Democrats say the current election system is costing them votes.
A new bill is making its way through Congress to change that. After the break, Republicans argue the importance of voter ID.
A Rock County baseball team will host the community's 4th of July celebration. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll tell you where Beloit residents can catch a red, white, and blue fireworks display.
And it felt more like July with those temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Not quite record warm, but feeling a little more on the toasty side. We've got a couple more muggy days before some rain and thunderstorms moves in. I'll have more on that coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Today, House lawmakers looked at how voter ID laws and other voting requirements can affect access to the ballot. Right now, H.R. 1, a voting reform bill that passed the House in March, is stalled in the Senate.
Democrats say the bill is critical to counter states' laws that party members argue restrict access to the ballot. Republicans call the bill unnecessary. Anna Warnicki is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Pennsylvania Democrat Mary Gay Scanlon says millions of Americans don't have access to a government-issued ID that some states require before casting a ballot.
The time, fees, and documentation required to get these IDs are insurmountable for many Americans, especially older Americans, folks with disabilities.
And North Carolina Democrat G.K. Butterfield says that's especially true in minority communities.
We should all be concerned about that.
Right now, 36 states have passed laws requiring voters to show some form of ID at the polls. House Democrats pushed back by passing a massive election reform bill in March. But Republicans say that legislation is a bad idea.
It guts voter ID laws, and they continue to push this false narrative that election safeguards like voter ID are somehow racist.
Wisconsin's Brian Stile argues election security is worth the trouble.
Americans are used to showing their ID to do common things, like open a bank account, buy alcohol, fly in a plane. I think it's common practice.
Stile says the goal should be increasing confidence in the election process.
We want to make sure that it's easy to vote and hard to cheat.
But Scanlon says ID requirements can silence millions of Americans.
Voter ID requirements that may seem like common sense to some turn out to have a serious anti-democratic impact in practice.
The House bill is now stalled in the Senate, where its fate is uncertain. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
It almost felt hot today. We climbed into the upper 80s, but who's complaining?
Coming up next, Candice lets us know how long skies will stay dry.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Well, it's definitely been a hot one, a more summer-like afternoon as our temperatures today climbed in the mid and upper 80s, currently sitting at 86 degrees here in Rockford, 88 in Janesville, down to 80 in Freeport, 81 in Monroe, and 82 now our current temperature out in Savannah. A little more cloud cover found back off to the west, and we had a couple of isolated showers work on through as well to our west. 86 for our weather watcher Ken in Belvedere, 84 for Ben in South Beloit, and 87 for Bob here in Rockford. Our dew point temperatures have been in the 60s, so it's felt a little bit on the muggier side, and you might have noticed some of those cumulus clouds kind of popping up here for us late this afternoon. From that, we've had a couple of isolated showers come down. A live look with our Mercial Skytrack camera out in Rochelle. We'll call it a partly cloudy sky, but as we go through this evening, you might see one or two isolated showers pop up here through the evening. Not expecting those to be too much, and most of us are going to stay dry, which has been the story here over the last couple of days. You can actually see some of those showers popping up to the southwest and then working up to the north and to the northeast. A little bit of instability, able to sustain a few of those showers, but that is pretty much going to be it. The majority of us actually going to stay dry as the highest moisture kind of working up as it's been the last several days out over the central and northern plains. That's all thanks to this high pressure system centered down over the southeast. That begins to work a little more to our east and south these next couple of days. So what that does is allow that moisture that's been to the west to increase and move in our direction here for tomorrow. And that is going to play an impact, one, on our rain chance, and two, on the potential for some thunderstorms. But no thunderstorms in the forecast for us tonight. Majority of us staying dry. Now, just before sunrise tomorrow, even though Futurecast not showing it, we might have a light shower move through across parts of the area just as we start to bring in a little bit more moisture. Majority of the first half of Tuesday looking to be dry and kind of muggy. Temperatures not quite as warm as what they were today, staying in the lower 80s, but still rather warm and muggy. Cold front coming in from the northwest during the late afternoon and evening could help fire up a few thunderstorms going into mid to late afternoon. You see some of these popping up across parts of the area. As we get a little bit further into the evening, 5, 6 o'clock, we might might start to see some of that coverage increase just a bit. And then as the actual cold front comes in, a few additional showers and thunderstorms moving in for Tuesday evening before clearing out as high pressure and drier air work in as we head towards the day on Wednesday. Now there is a risk for a couple of stronger thunderstorms, parts of the area mainly from here up towards Lake Somerset, down just to the west of Foreston, and then out towards the Quad Cities, highlighted in a marginal risk. So it's a lower end, but that risk is there. Primarily if we were to see any stronger thunderstorms, hail and gusty winds would be our biggest threat, and then at that increase in moisture, some heavy rainfall coming down. It's not anything that'll be widespread, but kind of something to keep an eye on as we head into the afternoon and evening time frame tomorrow. So a very mild night tonight, 68 degrees up to 83 for tomorrow afternoon. Guys, we've got some changes coming up too midweek. Look at these numbers for Thursday, Friday in the 60s. Hopefully we get some beneficial rain with that. And then our overnight lows heading into the weekend down into the 40s.
Changes might be an understatement. That is a drastic difference. Thanks, Candice.
Scott's in next to talk sports.
He says Phil Mickelson was just the right medicine for a nation in need of something to feel good about.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
It's a remarkable thing when one athlete can put a smile on our face. Phil Mickelson did that to much of America yesterday with his victory at the PGA Championship. We love to watch all-time greats in action in sports. We love to watch young prodigies amaze us. And we love it when the old-timers recapture their former glory, seemingly turning back time. Mickelson's achievement was uplifting. If you're in the 50-plus crowd like I am, you come away from that event thinking life still hasn't passed us by. There are still things to achieve. If you're under 25, then, well, 50 years old probably seems really old to you, so you're amazed by what Mickelson did. It's also great to see a champion react with such humility, not thumping his chest and calling out his opponents or proclaiming his greatness. Mickelson just seemed genuinely blessed, and his interaction with the crowd all day was something else to behold. I don't know how he held it all together, the way the crowd was pressing in on him, especially on that final hole. If I were him, I'd have been fearful for my safety, wondering if I was about to be mobbed. But Mickelson held it together. That's composure. Sports are at their best when they uplift us and inspire us. Phil Mickelson gave that gift to us yesterday. Well, there's some great talent on display in the NBA playoffs. Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, Kevin Durant, Giannis. It's a long list of entertaining players, and they are fun to watch. But after one weekend of playoff action, I've already had it with all the flopping. With the slightest bit of contact, players are falling down like they've been run over by a bus. I can't blame them because more times than not, the officials are falling for those flops and calling fouls on the other guy. I'd probably flop too if I knew I would get a call to go my way. So it's up to the officials to start calling the game smarter. Don't encourage guys who flop to keep flopping by giving them calls. Ignore the flops, that'll get them to stop. It's also silly that when a guy with the ball goes up for a shot and he bangs his arm into the defender, the shooter gets the call when he's the one initiating the contact. This is a far cry from the Michael Jordan era of the NBA, when players were constantly getting hammered on drives to the basket and couldn't get a foul call. Remember how physical the Pistons and the Knicks were? These phantom calls are hurting the NBA. If I wanted to see acting, I'd watch a movie, not the NBA. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching.
Stay safe.